All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, July the 2nd, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you. And with me, as not so always, is Mr. Matthew Potenski.
Yeah, Samurai got a lot better looking all of a sudden, huh?
Samurai got better looking, yeah.
No, Dave is out in Pennsylvania, I believe. So we're
on temporary assignment on his way out to Pittsburgh to drink beer, bring us back beer, and set up a couple of shows with some breweries out there that you and I started trying to set up last May, and now he's going to finish the deal.
Kind of directly in the middle of churned butter territory right now.
Right now, he is in Lancaster, yes. And I did learn that a couple of years ago. It's not Lancaster, it's Lancaster. Like Lancaster.
Okay.
That's how it's pronounced. If you say, and if you say that out to, not everybody, but if you say that out to some people out in Lancaster, if you say Lancaster, they're not going to get mad. They're not going to get mad at you, right? It's not pork roll, tail, or ham.
They'll run you down with their horse and buggy.
Right. Yeah. No, but they'll correct you. They'll say it's actually Lancaster. It's not Lancaster. It's Lancaster. So, but I grew up
accent
for 50-something years. I was calling it Lancaster, so I got schooled. But anyway, so he went to. I know he's going to our town brewing. Well, he started Human Robot, right? He had to have
start.
A great place to start. Good beer, and he got a nice post sandwich. Then he stopped at Victory in Downingtown on the way out, and then they got out to Lancaster. And I know after dinner, I don't know if he's there now or not, but I know he was going to Our Town Brewing, which is in downtown. Brought back some beer. We had him on the show too. The guy from Robert Tarbs, I think his name is. Pretty sure.
Cool.
But yeah, it was a good brewery. Good. He used to work at Mad Dog. It's another one out that way. So another brewery out that way. But another brewing good beer.
Mad Dog's a very different thing, I think.
Yeah, it's not Mad Dog. No, Red Dog. Red Dog's different. It's Mad. I think it's Mad Dog.
No, Mad Dog is like 40s, I think, like malt liquor.
Maybe it's not Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Mad. It's Mad something. I know that. It's Mad. I'll think of it. It'll come to me. But anyway, so on that note, in paying homage to Dave and his days of the week or days of the year and special days or whatever, happy National Disco Day, everybody. So had to do a little of this. Yeah. So there we go. So that's the disco for the day. But yeah, happy National Disco Day for all those who celebrate.
Think of this. At least we didn't have to see Dave dance. So
well, that's true. He definitely would have gotten up and
you got out of that, viewers. If you're
done his Travolta for all of us, exactly. So I'm thirsty. Matt, are you?
I'm pretty thirsty too.
I am thirsty. I say we bring on a guest and bring a guest and there we go. All right, so please welcome to the show tonight our guest for the week, Mr. Steve Esparra, the founder and editor-in-chief of Drainpour magazine, drainpour.beer. How are you, Steve?
Never better. How you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on.
Well, doing well. Be doing a lot better in about 10 seconds when I pour this beer. So
exactly. So, Steve, what do you? Steve, you kick it off. What are you drinking first? What do you?
I have an IPA from Other Half called Ludicrous Lakes. It's part of their Green City pack.
Very nice.
Me and a couple buddies split the delivery, so I got like one of every beer for like six. A mix 6. So this is my third one.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Got my wood exit glass.
Good glass to have.
Hopefully not exit 80 or whatever's going on down there.
Exit just near Tom's River. It's like sinkholes opened up on the parkway.
It's pretty awesome.
I do remember one opening up around 109 a few years back. In the express lanes. I don't think.
What do you think, Steve? That's a pretty good looking beer. I'm not gonna lie.
Yours looks pretty good.
Yeah,
nice and frothy.
Yeah.
So, Matt, what are you drinking?
I am drinking. I don't know. Let me read this. Shell Collector from Coastal Brewworks. I've heard of them.
Shell Collector from Coastal Brewworks. And ironically, I'm drinking a Shell Collector from Coastal Brewworks. Yeah, I've heard of them as well.
So
is any good?
Shameless plug. It's a 6% New England IPA made mostly with Pilsner malt, wheat, oats, and it is hopped with Nelson Sauvin and the new hop called Vista. So lots of white grape and stone fruit notes. So I wanted to do a lighter base so that the lighter hop flavors would really kind of sing through this. So
Very nice.
Yep.
I poured it in. I poured it in proper glassware there. So
there you go.
there you go.
Sorry, I got a tin bar.
I feel left out. You guys are drinking the same thing. I'm like the outcast here.
Well, we got to get you one.
That was not planned, by the way. That just kind of happened. But
Yeah.
I had planned on drinking. I usually I don't order from Tavour as much as Matt does, but not too much less than Matt does. But I had a crate coming. Should have arrived a couple weeks ago, and so it's usually I drink the beers on the show, right? Those are the beers I drink on the show from all over the country, and it's usually lagers or miles or stuff that I can have 3 or 4 on the show because they're only 4% or something.
I was going to say not one lager between the three of us.
Yeah, exactly. But in any event, the crate didn't show up till today, and I was out, so didn't even have a chance to just pull 3 out of it and chill them. So yeah, so I'm going with what was in the fridge, and unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, there's a lot of Coastal in my fridge. So
strange how that works.
Kind of where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
So anyway. All right. Cool. Cheers, Steve. Thanks for coming on. We really appreciate you taking the time out. Let's kick it off with the first question we ask everybody.
Ooh, I'm going to ask him.
You ask him.
All right. So we kind of asked the same question to most of the guests that are on, or all the guests that are on it, basically. And it's simply is where did your beer journey start? Like, what was the first like true craft beer that either you remember having or that like kind of really turned you on to craft beer?
After college is all Keystone and Miller and Busch. If you're lucky, you can afford Miller, right? But it's Keystone and Busch and all that. After college, there was a bar in my hometown called the Office Bar and Grill. I know there's a lot of them. There used to be a chain, but on Wednesday nights they had $3 pints, any draft beer, and I knew the bartender, and they had like really good, Dogfish 90, Stone stuff. Like this is,
$3 pint of Dogfish 90. That would have
yeah. They fixed it quickly, but there was a couple summer months when I could go in on a Wednesday and get, go down the line, and by the end I've spent $30 and I am cabbing home.
Nice.
And I just liked, I like going there and trying different things. So that like kind of started my like variety is the spice of life. They had really good stuff on tap for the time, 2007, 2008, around then, I start to have like, I had a job out of college. So I started to have like a little bit of a disposable income, which is a great name for a beer, by the way. And so that was the start of it. And then once we realized, I would go with my cousin all the time. He loved Victory Hop Devil. They always had that. That was a big one. Dogfish was the big one for me.
Actually,
I know, right? And then once we started really like going there a lot and liking stuff, we were like, oh, we should like try to brew our own. We found Brewer's Apprentice. We went over there, brewed a couple batches on our own, and from there it was just, around this time, Carton, Kane starts opening up. All these things start opening up near me. So it's kind of like, rode the wave, right place, right time. I started getting into craft as
eventually you got to the point where I met you, which was I was behind the bar at Maloney's, and I would see your smiling face quite a bit in there.
Yeah. So I had a love-hate relationship with Maloney's for a while before you started there. When they first opened.
The timing could have been, I mean, we could cut that out right before you started working there. So
yeah.
Right. That's a perfect outtake for that.
Well, no, because I swore Maloney's off for a while because when they first opened up, they had like this thing where if you drank a certain amount of beers, you got your name on the wall. If you tried a different beer, you got your name on the wall. They would write it down. And if you drank all 250, you got a leather jacket. And I was like, I'm getting that leather jacket. So I would go in all the time. It was like the perfect, like, as I started liking and trying different craft beers, this bar opened 5 minutes from my house that had 100+ craft beers. I would go in all the time. I knew a bartender there too. I don't know if you know him, Pete, from back in the day. And it was like, you drink 50. They had a file. You had like your file in a folder, and once you drank 50, you got your name on the wall. And I got like to 75 or something. I'm like, hey, like my name isn't on the wall. I kept asking, and they were like, I don't know, the guy, he's not coming back, like whatever. And I started getting really mad. So then like I just swore it off for a while, and then eventually I went back, all the names were gone, and like they completely redid it. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna remove my fatwa on it.
There you go.
It wasn't as bad as Pepsi trying to give out a jet, but it was still kind of a false promise, is what we're saying.
You know what? For me, it was like, this is the only reason I'm coming here. Like, I wanted that goddamn leather jacket. I don't know if we can curse on here. I apologize.
You can. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I was gonna say
yeah.
shit. You can't fucking curse on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I met Matt, and Matt's the bomb, and he was always.
That's what he tells me.
Yeah, I went in with a hat, and he's like, "I got that same hat. Did Kiv give it to you?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." So all right, so and then that was it.
So the answer to the question would be Dogfish Head 60 was probably the kickoff for you, or just Dogfish Head in general.
If I had to pick the beer, I would say it's Dogfish Head 60-minute, 90-minute, 120-minute. That series was like, the start for me.
Gotcha.
I would say 1 minute. No one really remembers drinking 120 minute.
Oh no! I don't know many people that remember drinking
when you have the 120.
Exactly. Yep. Got a couple of comments I got to put up. Brian Boak commented, "Evening guys, enjoying a Hewn Springs whiskey out of PA tonight." Cheers, Brian. Cheers. Yep. And then hang on. Here we go. Then we have a message from this guy. I'm not sure what his name is. Dave C. Schoen. I'm not sure who that is. Oh, that's Beer Samurai. That's who that is. Anyway, he says hello from Lancaster. And then we have another comment from Brian Boak. Hi guys, enjoying Hewn Springs whiskey from PA tonight. I think he just doubled up the comment. There you go.
Yeah, either that or just posted twice for some reason.
Posted twice. Well, the first one was evening guys, and then the second one was hi guys. So there you go. But either way, hi again, Brian. Thank you. Thanks. Yep. Cheers. Thanks for watching and enjoy that.
I had any whiskey, but I guess I would have to try it at some point.
I definitely have to get out there and try some of that. And then Dave said, Our Town Brewing, to be specific. He's out at Our Town Brewing right now. So
cool. So he's not at Mad Dog?
He's not at Mad Dog or wherever that.
Drinking 40 hands?
I did. It's Mad something else, and I'll think of it. I combined the two. There's Big Dog and Mad something.
I know there's a Mad River Brewing. I don't know.
Not Mad River. It's Mad something.
I think is Mad River the haunted one? There's supposed to be a haunted.
Yes. Yeah.
Mad River's the
it's Mad something or whatever. I think
New Hampshire or something. Mad River. Isn't that?
But yeah, I was taking the Mad and the Dog from Big Dog, they're both in Lancaster. So, but he worked at the Robert, the one that owns Our Town, brews at Our Town. He used to work up there. Dave, are you drinking by any chance the mild? Is the mild on? And if so, how many are you having? Because I think my record is 9 sitting at that bar having them. So let us know that. Doug Smith chimed in.
Impressive.
Cheers, Doug. Appreciate you watching. And Kat Reyes. Kat, thanks for watching the show. Shared this show on Arts and Spirits Fest and Worldwide Beer Fest. Make it entertaining, guys. Kat, we always do. Got to get you back on too. And and Kat is a partner with us with Worldwide Beer Fest, by the way, with the Arts and Spirits Festival, which myself, Dave, and Tom Mulvihill, the Beer Whisperer, Whiskey Whisperer, for the And the Chaser podcast, we're doing the Arts and Spirits Festival. More on that later in the show. We'll talk about it, but we do it every week. So, but thanks, Kat, for posting that. Appreciate you posting it to the page. That's awesome. All right, next. There we go.
Back on point.
Back on point. There we go. We got the sponsorship work done, if you will. Anyway. Yeah. Steve, what was the first craft brewery you ever visited? Was it Carton, or was it one of them, or was it something before that?
I'm gonna guess it was Carton because that's the one that's closest to my house. I'm trying to think if I went anywhere before that, like not really in knowing like the craft beer community or like being so ingrained in it. But my safe guess is Carton, just because it was opened, one of the first ones to open and closest. I definitely went there before I saw Kane. And outside of New Jersey, I don't think I would have gone anywhere else. So,
gotcha. Yeah, I mean, you could also change it to just first brewery you have ever went to. So, was Carton the first brewery you ever went to, or had you been to, another, Macro by any chance or something like that?
I did. I mean, I did go to Sam Adams up in Boston. That was a great tour.
We'll count that as a craft brewery.
Yeah. Dogfish. I went to like one of their brew pubs in Maryland. Not like I didn't go to the main one.
Fair enough.
But I went to one of their brew pubs this was also probably before I went to college.
Beach.
So those two I would say.
All right.
No, Maryland somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I went to the Rehoboth one after that, but that's like, a little later.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I've been to, I would say one of those two is the first one. I don't know. I'm fuzzy on dates.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, mine goes back to shit. Technically the first brewery I ever went to was a Bud brewery at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, Virginia, back in, when I was a kid, right? So technically, if you want to call it that, but and watching my father drink Budweiser. So, that's, we all have a crust to bear, so.
Busch Gardens is sweet though.
Absolutely. No, he is. Absolutely is. Brian Bogue just commented again. He said, got it at Peddler's Village. Also grab some free will. So to get down to Peddler's Village and get some of that hue. Oh, that's they actually, they do have that pop up there. I did recognize the name. They do have that in Peddler's Village. So anytime you get down to Lambertville and you go over into New Hope, go up to Peddler's Village, and there's a tasting room right there. So that's cool for the hewn spirits. Anyway, all right, cool. All right, so let's jump into this a little bit more than just asking you those questions. All right, so now you're drinking beer. You go to Carton. You're going to Maloney's. You're enjoying your craft. You're really diving into what you're enjoying. What has become of it, right? What made you decide? Because you've done other stuff too. But let's jump right to drainpour. What made you decide that craft beer and satire go together, like hand in hand? And then talk about the evolution of that too. How you made that.
Sure
happen.
thing. Okay, so drainpour was an idea. Are you guys saw with the Onion, which is the original?
I'm familiar with the Onion. I'm fairly certain Matt's familiar with the Onion.
Yeah. Oh, Matt was in the Onion. Yeah. Even
Parodied by the Onion. There was literally an article where they parodied me.
Yeah.
So yes, I have been.
dude, that's a badge of honor.
Yeah. It's,
and this was way back when, before the Onion was like huge as it is now. But so I'm familiar with the Onion, which I love. And then right around, I guess I'm gonna say 2014, 2015, around then. Are you guys familiar with the Hard Times, which is
Sure.
Their whole business model is the Onion, but for punk music, hardcore metal music, stuff like that. I stumbled upon this social media site, website, online magazine, whatever you want to call it, satire site. And I just fell in love with it. And I was like, damn, this is such a good idea. It's like, oh, you probably heard that. Fireworks starting early.
There you go. Is there fireworks? Is that just people lighting stuff off, or is there?
And my neighborhood's is tomorrow, so that's just people getting the weekend started.
Yeah.
So I felt
the beach tonight. There's some down there.
Point Beach is always on the 4th. Point Beach is on the 4th.
No, it's like somewhere right along the bay. Not
Union?
It might be. I know
Union Beach.
Somewhere over there. There's
up by you guys, up that way.
Yeah, that's
Point Beach. Yeah, I know.
I'm in Hazlitt.
He's not gonna hear fireworks from Point at his house. So.
That's pretty good. Yeah. But Belmar's is Saturday. They usually do it on a Friday night, but they're doing it on Saturday.
Sam already did theirs last Saturday, so they're done.
We're going to Manasquan tomorrow night. Manasquan is tomorrow night, so we'll be down there.
Nice. Tomorrow's Hazlitt. Union Beach might be tonight, but that won't start till like 9:00 anyway.
Yeah, it's too light out right now.
Yeah. So anyway, I fell in love with Hard Times, and I started reading it, and I'm like, damn, this is such a good idea. Just like specified satire based on like a niche community, and it really spoke to me. And around that time, I was like, man, the craft beer is like pretty. There's a lot of crossover between punk, hardcore, metal, and like the craft beer community. Like a lot of people I know, if you go to a brewery before a hardcore show in Asbury, I guarantee all the same people you're going to see at the show are going to be at the same place pre-gaming, either at Kane or at Bond Street or somewhere where there's craft beers. It's just like clockwork. I could tell you, I could go to Kane before a show and say, that guy's going to the show, that guy's going to the show. So I had the idea back in 2016 to start Drainpour, and I actually did start it, but I hadn't really had the wherewithal of like writing satire, writing comedy. Right. I only knew how to make websites. That's my professional job. I like make websites for a living. So I knew how to make a website, but I didn't really know how to write satire. But I just figured, how hard could it be? You just it seems like they follow a format or a template, so I'll just do that. So I launched the original version of Drainpour in 2016. It was right around the 2016 election. There was a lot of stuff, and and it was low hanging fruit, like Trump administration vows to repeal and replace Ryan Heitzgebot, stuff like that, silly stuff. Biden demands to take home all the homebrew equipment from the White House before he leaves, because Obama was like the first president to brew a beer at the White House or something.
Mm-hmm.
Silly stuff. So I launched it, and it was like, it was okay, but it wasn't there. And then a lot of stuff happened in 2016, and I just kind of I let it expire. It was drainpour.net. That was I call it. So if you look at my Instagram, it says batch 1 was better. I refer to that as batch 1 of Drainpour. And I launched that with my buddy Dan, who shout out Dan, who is one of my first friends in beer and will be a friend for life. DeCara, as for my money, the best home brewer in the country. Now that Escarhart has his own place, so shout out to him. He like helped me launch the site.
And Matt.
And Matt. Well, Matt has a facility now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I was kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I actually know Dan pretty well. He's a hell of a brewer. He does he does a lot of the sour stuff and just does it really, really well. He's like an art. So
he is an artist, and he's borderline savant with his he's really good. Everyone who I give his stuff to, like I won't drink a bottle by myself because I want to share with as many people as possible, and they're all like, damn, this dude knows what he's doing. So shout out to him. So I let it expire. I let it go by the wayside. And then in 2019, I actually applied to be a writer at Hard Times. And they accepted me, and I got a bunch of articles approved. I learned how to write satire a little better. Shout out to their editor-in-chief, Bill Conway, good friend and just amazing editor, and taught me how to write satire better. And then, like 2 years ago, about 2-ish years ago, I'm like, I'm really just like, I should just do it. Like I'm going to regret. I regret already letting it expire. I'm going to regret the more I think about it. I'm going to regret not just launching it and doing it myself. So, I started up again, drainpour.beer. And I mean, you're both in the craft beer scene, community, whatever you want to call it. It's obvious it's ripe for satire. There is so much. There is so much ridiculousness.
And we pride ourselves on that ridiculousness.
Yeah. So you know what? Most people have a good sense of humor. No one takes themselves too seriously. And what I really like about and what's similar to the punk scene and that whole satire genre is you go after the right targets, right? You're never mean for the sake of being mean. Right. You have to go after and satirize and make sure that if you're gonna put someone down, or if you're gonna go for the throat or be mean, the person has to deserve it, because you can never punch down. You always have to punch up. So like, I won't go after a brewery that I know that's starting out, or you can't write something bad or something malicious about the little guy trying to just make a name for himself. But if people are being assholes, like, I have no problem going after Brewdog or Founders or anyone who like invites it on themselves. You get what's coming to you. So that's I'm not saying you're not going to ruffle feathers along the way. If you want to be kind of partial and do comedy, that's what's going to happen. But for the most part,
that goes hand in hand with the territory. So
yeah. So I'm not too worried about it. But again, the target has to be right. There's a lot of, again, shitlords is the term. They're always ripe for taking. People who take advantage, people who take it too seriously, people who are always trying to get one over on a trade, whatever it is. The guy who can't believe he missed out on a release and is going to cause a scene, or max profits, those types of stuff. That stuff's it's always going to be there, and that's what's funny. Like, it's funny that people take it that seriously. So that's
also like, that's the absolute worst of the beer industry, the craft industry. It's
exactly.
He's like dragging his grandmother and his aunt and his cousin's brother's former roommate just so he can get a few more bottles and just
allotment.
Of course,
exactly.
It's
Kat Reyes just said, "You're like a vigilante superhero."
I didn't go that far.
And then she said, "We need a superhero name for Steve." That's what she said. So, so let's
I'll let you guys decide.
Let's think about that, Kat. Let's think about that. Let's come up with it. There you go. And Doug Smith just commented, "It's is writing about craft beer lucrative? Is it something you can make a living at, or more of a part-time thing? Should I quit my day job?" Now, Steve, I should let you know if you're not familiar with Doug Smith. Doug Smith has been drinking craft beer and involved in that in the genre, in the industry, in that respect for quite some time. Let's just say it. Doug, how's that sound? Quite some time. Does that work for you? So yeah, he's this is a serious question. He's not
Yeah, no.
winking.
A lot of people ask that question. I pay my writers. I pay them the same that Hard Times pays theirs, just because that's the only gauge I have. Some publications, which will remain nameless, that are satire, don't pay their writers, and I think that's wrong. I'll pay all my writers between $15 and $30.
Does that
for
publication that shall remain nameless, does that have anything to do with like the ground or like in dirt or anything like that, or?
I don't know what you're referring to, but no.
No.
You would know it if I said it. It's one of the big ones. But no hate, whatever. I followed them for a while.
It's all good.
A better satire writer.
It's all good.
I would say no. It's not really lucrative, unless unless you have some big ad sponsors. Which I'm young. Me meaning the site is only a little over a year old. I could work on getting sponsors, or just advertisements online. That's really the only way you're going to make any money on ads.
Right.
So either that or paywall, which never really works.
Those don't usually work. Yeah.
But I do pay my writers.
Yeah,
I do pay my writers. So there's a very easy way to submit a packet if you want, or if you want to submit a headline. I have so now that I'm in like the Hard Times community, I posted in there like, hey, anyone who likes craft beer, likes to poke fun at craft beer, likes to not take things too seriously. If you're in the Hard Times community, you have an automatic pass into my pitch group essentially.
There you go.
So you pitch headlines. If I like it, I approve it. You write it. I pay you when it publishes. So yeah, if you like the site and you check it out and you think you want to submit, send me an email or pitch something, and I'll happily approve. Like I said, I'm young. I'm eager to approve headlines. Anything that fits the site. It has to be a specific tone too, though, right? Like it's hard to toe the line between average craft beer fan and completely submersed nerd. Like no disrespect, but we all are, right? Like you want to have a little more.
We're all there, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You started a brewery. You're there. You're like you're the target.
Right.
So you don't want it to be too. You don't want it to be too specific. Where like the average craft beer fan's going to read it and be like, I have no idea what they're talking about. But you don't want it to be too vague that it's like like our core audience is going to miss it. So it's a fine line. So I know it when I see it.
Owner opens the brewery so he can close it in 6 months, like that kind of thing, or
yeah, exactly. Something like that. I wrote.
Well, I got to be honest. I have to tell you. I have to say this too, really quick. And Doug, you and I will talk more off after the show. I'll reach out to you, but on this. But I do have to say, just really quick, the piece you just did on Anchor with the whole Chobani thing, that was hysterical. That was great.
Oh, thank you. That was I took too long to write that, actually. That took 2 days. I should have posted that 2 days earlier, but I just it
was fantastic. I mean,
whatever.
Because Anchor's near and dear to me, right? I love the brand. I love the brewery. I was so disheartened when Sapporo closed them last year, and I'm so thrilled that I forget his name, and not that it's not Joe Smith, not that it's an easy name to remember, but the owner of Chobani, right? I'm so thrilled that he's actually investing money and bringing it back. I'm so thrilled with, but what you did with it, especially with the Christmas ale, because we're doing, and we're going to actually talk about your article on 3 weeks from tonight. 3 weeks from tonight? Yeah, it's 3 weeks. 3 weeks from tonight. Yeah, is our Christmas in July show. And
nice.
And Doug Smith's buddies, I should say, John Starodumsky, Brew Guru, and Tom Mulvihill, the Beer Whisperer. They're both on the show with Dave and I for the Christmas in July. But one of us always has a couple of anchors on that show, Anchor Christmases. So we're going to actually talk about your article there. But anyway, continue talk about it. It was hysterical.
So actually, when they closed Anchor, I posted an article. And again, it was too big of a news not to, but the article was Anchor announces Christmas is canceled.
Right. Yeah,
Which
I
is
remember that, yeah.
again, it's low hanging fruit, but you got to do it. And I tried to be respectful.
I moved on to
yeah,
this
that
cat,
one,
by the way.
the last file. It's a good one. That one I did have. I don't have any cans left because I drank them all. But
So I swung by Ashton the other night. Good friends of ours, which we did this beer with him last year.
Mhm.
World is your cloister. So I just he threw me a few cans when I went to leave. So this is a Hacklebarney Special Ale. It's an American style India Pale Ale. So we'll give that a whirl. Taste drive, if you will.
Very nice.
you guys are lapping me. I gotta hurry up.
Well, we're professional.
I'm doing all the talking.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. We're just sitting back and drinking while you're talking. There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Anchor, again, near and dear to my heart. Anchor Steam was definitely one of the beers on at the Office Bar and Grill that I would, slug a couple back.
Such a good beer, and
I
you know
know.
what
It's underrated beer.
we've talked about this ad nauseum at different times on the show too. Anchor Steam, it's one of those beers, and I want your opinion on this at some point, either right now or after we finish talking of this particular thing. But I just want to say it before I forget. It's one of those beers that fits the category. You love the beer. It's fantastic. But as well as everybody in this industry knows, this industry has become a what have you done for me lately industry, right? So a beer like Anchor Steam falls by the wayside. As fantastic as it is, you forget about it because it's always been there, and in your mind, it always will be. So you can go back to, well, I'll get there whenever. I want the new stuff, right? So
it's kind of one of those gateway beers where like
Right.
the people who are getting into craft, that's like one of the easily accessible ones because it's so
Sure.
good. It's everywhere you can get it. But after you've kind of taken your full dip into craft beer, it's like it's always going to be there. So you kind of forget about it and you pass over it for the new.
I did
Exactly.
pick
What for the what have you done for me lately? Oh, hey, nice.
Yeah.
You're drinking out of a Dogfish Head glass. Seriously,
Surprise.
I'm shocked. Steve, anytime Matt comes over and he and I are, go out by my fire pit, have cigars, and we're drinking beer, one of my Dogfish Head glasses is the glass he drinks out of. So I always pull that out. So
It's a shark, baby. I got
my possibly my favorite article I ever wrote was it was a blog. It was like an interview with Sam Calagione,
Nice.
and it said we sat down with the godfather of craft beer, Sam Calagione, to demand an apology. And it's essentially like the interviewer, like his life has been ruined by craft beer. He spends all his money, his wife and kids left him, and he sits down with Sam, and he is taking it all out on Sam. And I had so much fun writing it. I posted it. Dogfish commented like, "This made us laugh." I was like, "Shit, maybe let's share it." Get me some followers. But yeah, it's really funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, humble brag. No, it's stupid.
No, it's cute. That's great. I love it.
So the Anchor one, that's just, it was, again, low hanging fruit. Chobani buys a craft brewery. You got to do something. So I thought, and Anchor Christmas is also another one where, you know what, I would buy it every year, just on principle. Like I need to have it. Like I'm going to bring it to Christmas dinner. I'm going to have one on Christmas Day, whatever it is. I need a 6-pack of it, just like one of those ones. But I know that's not enough. Obviously, it wasn't enough.
I also like that every year it's a little bit different. Like it's not
exactly.
the same beer.
The recipe has to modulate it a little bit every year,
and so like we used to always. I had a couple friends, and we used to always get a lot of them, and we would put them in the basement and at my buddy's house and whatever, and we'd have some kind of little Christmas share or something, and we'd crack 2 or 3 of them, and like usually ones that were a couple years old. And it's just cool when you're like, oh, it's the same beer, but you have 3 different sips and they're all completely different.
100%. I have 20, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. I have 5 years. And I also have I don't have any 2017 left, but I have like 1 bottle of 18 and 19 and then 2 bottles of 20, 21, and 22. But I have a Magnum of 2016. So that's 8 years old. I'm saving that for a 10-year thing. So I'm saving that another 2.5 years and then I'll open it. But we did once, I'm going back about 11 years. 2013 comes out. A buddy of mine, I saved some and he saved a bunch too. We accumulated an 18-year vertical. 96 through 2013 we had 18 different years of Anchor Christmases. And I got to be honest with you, the best of all 18 from 96 to 2013. In 2013, the best of them was 98. 98 was the
Good
best.
year.
And it was 16, it was 15 years old. You know what I mean? And it was the best one of all of them.
It was.
They were all fantastic, but that was the best one.
Yeah.
So now we know. Now we know why. Because it doesn't mature for 15 years. No one can hold on to it.
You gotta hold on.
Oh,
And, here you go.
Then,
There you go. Brian Boak just says, I have a 95 Magnum. All right, Brian. All right, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. All right.
Sure.
Not this Christmas. Next Christmas, we're going to open yours at the brewery. Okay. So it'll be 30 years old. And then the year after, we'll open my 2016 and 10 years. It'll be 10 years old. So if you want to, it's up to you. So there you go. So, my offer. There you go.
I'm coming to
And we'll have other beer too at that point. So.
I want to try a 30-year-old Christmas too.
Oh, it's fantastic. So anyway, holding. He just responded. He goes, "Okay, works for me. I'm good with that." And then Kat just invited herself. There.
Come on out.
Kat's out in Oregon. She's gonna make the trek to New Jersey from Oregon to do that. So there you go. Awesome, Kat. Everybody, do it. We'll have a Christmas share at the brewery, and there might just be a gingerbread Belgian double on tap at that time.
Oh.
Foreshadowing, but we'll leave
Inside
that
information.
We'll leave that alone.
Inside information.
Anyway, all right, Steve.
Us.
There you go. So go back to continue about drainpour and beyond the Chobani article that I mentioned. Go back to what you're.
Oh, right. I forget what I was saying about the Chobani article.
Beyond it. Before I brought up the Chobani. No, just the fact that you're doing what you're doing now. You were talking about a lot of the other articles, and I brought up the Chobani thing. So go back.
Right. So again, it just felt like the right time for me to do it. Like I had a little bit of extra time in my life to launch it. It took a long time for me to launch. I have writers that I pay to write articles, but I'm essentially a one-man operation. I design the logo myself. I do all the dev work. Again, that's second nature for me, but like writing an article, posting it, doing all the posting, I have the social media stuff. I do it all myself and really just pay for people to write some articles sometimes. But
content, if you're having the sponsorships and you're getting the money in from that way, it pays to pay for the content.
Right, yeah.
The additional content.
So last year I reached out to AC Beer Fest and said, "Hey, can I cover your fest on a press pass?" Mm-hmm. And John, who I love, one of my favorite people, he is like,
amazing. I love
John Henderson is a good friend, and he has like an open invite to my share wherever, because he took a chance on me. Like when my site was 5 or 6 months old, I had very, very little, numbers or whatever. I had like one article that went viral, so I puffed up my numbers to like let him know that like I had thousands of views.
Sure.
And I pretty much reached out to him like, "Hey, can I cover it on a press pass?" And immediately I had like an invite to a meeting with him and his team for like just to make sure. He's like, he started off the meeting with, "Listen, no problem giving you a press pass. I'm just a little hesitant with satire because I've worked really hard to get where I am, and I don't want to get it blown, by just one article could ruffle some feathers the wrong way." And I was like, "Listen, I understand. I'm gonna I'm not gonna ruin what you've worked for 17 years to get." So he was like, "No problem." He treated me like family. I'm forever in debt to him, and then this year too. But that really opened a lot of doors, because then I was there and I met so many breweries, handing out stickers and just like, doing my top 5, doing my drainpour guide to surviving Beer Fest. That was big. These are some of my biggest articles, is like my AC Beer Fest stuff. Mm-hmm. And from there, it's just like
we were in one of your articles from 23.
You-
Yeah.
It was not this year. Last year's AC Beer Fest on Bader Field. Yeah, I think we made that. I think we made that article. But
You were
if I
top two.
recall.
Top two, I think.
Nice.
It was
No,
us.
totally-
It was us and Bob. We're the top.
Totally
one.
not biased.
There you go. No, totally. And then this year's April AC Beer Fest. And by the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't say sorry. Condolences to everybody that was going to go next weekend to AC Beer Fest. Obviously, the Bader Field is canceled for this second session. And I said to John too. I talked to him last week. I said, it's just because you put on such an amazing one in April that everybody's still hung over from it. That's the problem. So anyway.
I would have been there next weekend. I was looking forward to it.
And we would have been there. We would have been there too. You would have been having beer with us.
I know. It was going to be a good time.
But in April at the on the Friday night session, Matt was not there, but I was with Brian and you.
That is me.
And that's your shirt, that's your drainpour shirt right there.
I probably should have worn it tonight, but I'm not very smart.
Well, I hate to say this. I am like a walking billboard. So, like, if you get me a shirt, I will wear it.
Matt wears,
what size do you wear?
Probably 2X.
We both wear 2X. No, I'm kidding.
Oh. I have an XL. I'll see if
Don't
try it.
Matt might be able to squeeze into an XL. I
could probably squeeze into an XL. Yeah, I've lost a few LBs recently, actually. So, but
I've actually lost weight too, but he lost more. I lost like
5. Have you been to Witchcraft at all, Steve?
That's the place across from the convention center.
No. That's Wingcraft. That's Wingcraft.
Oh,
this is another one of John's festivals. It's down in Hamilton, and it's like a Halloween themed.
Yeah.
Honestly, we didn't do it this past year, but we did it the year before. And honestly, that was one of the coolest beer fests I've ever been to.
It was so damn cool.
It was just fantastic. Everyone's dressed up. We went as Guy Fieri's, which is hilarious.
The picture.
Love
Keep
it.
talking.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's around Halloween time.
It's in October. I don't know what weekend it is, but I mean,
it's like 2 weeks before Halloween. So.
Yeah, and it's fantastic, and like it's a multi-day festival, so like a lot of people like camp out there because it's on a big campground. The only thing that sucks is there's like no phone reception whatsoever there. But other than that, I mean, it's just the vibe of it is because it's like an evening, like dark. It's dark out. They got like projectors showing movie up on screens, and like it's craziness, but it's
nice.
Like good fun craziness, and it just there's such an energy to it, and that's really awesome. So
my brain is already so wired that, like you said, there's no phone reception. I'm already thinking of articles that I could do for like how am I checking Untapped? How am I ticking on Untapped if I can't check in?
There's Matt and Danny
booths with Halloween
and we were Coastal Boo Works that weekend. So there you go.
Ooh, spooky. I'm opening another beer.
Do it.
There you go. I'll catch up on a couple of comments while you pour that beer. Brian Book said the 1995 Magnum of Cafe Churro. There you go. Very nice. Was one. He says it was one of the oldest that George had at Andy's Corner Bar in Pagoda. That when they had a tasting years ago, he gave it to him. So awesome, Brian. Yes, save it another year. It's 29 years. It's got to make it to 30. Next Christmas season in 2025. You come down. We'll have a Christmas bottle share. We'll open it, and then the following year we'll continue the same thing, and we'll open my 10 year at that point, 2016 Anchor Christmas.
30 is double the prime that you had at 15. So
30 is exactly that. That's why I really want to taste it. Like I know I had 95, but I had 95 in 95, right? I might have had it again at some point. I don't remember, but I know I had it in 95. 96, I know I had in 2013 because it was part of the vertical, and it was good, but because I wrote notes, it was fantastic.
But
that was a good shot. Yeah,
I killed
out of bounds.
I killed the Guy Fieri thing. I'm not gonna lie.
You really did.
Yeah,
he
did
really
you grow your hair out?
sprayed my beard and my hair and all kinds of stuff. So
Matt, and Danny went all crazy with the spraying the beards, and well, Danny didn't spray a beard. She put her beard on. She didn't have a beard. She put her beard on and then sprayed it. There you go.
Yeah.
But Brian, yes, we'll definitely do that. And then Kat said, sounds like the Boonville Brew Fest, costumes and camping in Northern California has been going on since '98. That sounds fantastic. Kat, you got to let me know about that. If it's not the same weekend as Witchcraft, maybe we'll come out there for that. I really want to know about that. We'll talk about that. And then Brian said, just remind me, no plans on drinking it prior to. You got it, Brian. You'll be on the show soon. We got to do our tailgate kickoff to football season soon, so we'll talk about that before that.
I kind of hope he like gets drunk and sabers it like the weekend before he's supposed to. It's just
you don't know Brian. He won't. He won't. He might take it to a Giant game and we'll have it at a tailgate, but that's about it.
The takeaway here, though, Steve, is to definitely talk to John, and you want to cover that beer fest.
You definitely do want to cover that beer fest.
And I mean, I hate to say it, there's definitely a lot of fodder there for inspiration because
I'm sure every beer fest
ridiculous costumes, and it's like, watching someone dressed up as like a baby walking around drinking alcohol is kind of funny, or just dumb stuff like that. There's I'm sure there's a gold mine there for you. So
top 5 costumes at Witchcraft or whatever it is. There's possibilities are endless.
Oh yeah. And you could do 10 of the top 5. That's how interesting a lot of these costumes are. And the best thing about, I mean, not that that's not enough, but the best thing is there's camping. You sleep there in the woods the night between the two, and you can stay the second night too. But we don't. We stay the one night. That's it. But
right.
It's
responsible.
You be responsible. Yeah. So there's plenty of bonfires with some beer and bourbon drinking and
brown liquor,
cigars, brown liquor, and it's a fun time. It's such a great beer fest. It really is.
Yeah, the next morning it's not fun.
No, especially not when 2 people are wide awake making fun of the 2 of us sound asleep. But
well, I walked out of the tent and sat down in the chair before I passed out again.
You go back to sleep. Yeah. Well, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
And then, but Danny and Jim were wide awake making fun of us, but that's besides the point. So. But they went to bed like 4 hours before you and I did. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 5 a.m. is when we passed out. But anyway.
Well, we passed out after the
brown liquor was done.
Brown liquor was finally gone.
Right. Exactly.
That's usually how it goes.
When we ran out of brown liquor, I was like, well, I guess it's time to go to bed now.
Time to go to bed.
What else am I going to do?
Yeah. It's like, well, that's done. Now what? All right, I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah.
But
anyway, cool.
Either that or forage some wild mushrooms.
Well, you can do that too. There you go. All right. So what's next in line for or what's coming up? What any plans for not generic articles, but articles coming up or events you're going to cover or plans to bring it even more out into the market.
AC Beer Fest summer session was going to be my, obviously that got screwed, again, no hard feelings to John. Like I really, it sucks. I texted him too. And I spoke to him.
I do feel bad because I know I know the sheer amount of work and effort they put in.
Oh my God. They've been working on this summer session since before the April session in the convention center. Yeah. Actually,
they had some good, they had some good music too, some good bands. Yeah. As like a punk fan, that Saturday night session was gonna rip. Menzingers, Catboy, and Bad Cop. That's like 3 really good bands. I was looking forward to it, but again,
I mean, it is. It's tough to do an outdoor beer fest in the middle of July.
Yeah.
Especially
when the bulk of the ticket buyers have already been to your April beer fest.
Yeah, and I mean, also we just hit a giant heat wave, so it's like I feel like
that's the other. I mean, it's more so probably the heat wave than it is the ticket buyers. But
they're like, who the hell's going to go outside at a beer fest, thinking that they're going to melt or something? But it's. I almost think he almost should have flip flopped them and done the outside a little bit earlier in the year and the inside in the middle of summer.
Agreed. A buddy of mine said like it was bold to do 2 to begin with, like have indoor in April, outdoor in July. But if they switched them and indoor was in July, at least like you're not getting stuck in this 90 to 95 degree weather. Like
right. Well, the original. I mean, if you go back, I've known John for for almost 20 years now. He's been, since we started doing AC Beer Fest. First year was 2006, and he, it was always earlier in the year. It was March. I think there might have been an end of February 1 year, 1 or 2 years.
I remember 1 year walking out of the convention center. It was snowing.
It was snowing. Yeah.
What the hell?
And that was late. That was actually
awesome.
That was actually a first week.
You rode at the Sheridan, and you had to get all the way to your hotel. It was not that awesome, trust me. But
sounds better than he.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. Like in those years, it was standard drop.
Come out and you're like, what?
Yeah.
It's a magical moment.
It is. But if he went back, if he had done it in early March, then you could have done it again in June when you have been doing it on Bader Field. But you know what? We can second guess anything. John can second guess anything.
Exactly.
John's much more knowledgeable on when and how to plan events than any of the three of us are.
Oh, for sure.
So I'll what's the word I'm looking for? I'll defer to him.
I mean,
on this, but it was a bold effort, yes, but it was a cool effort, and it would have been really nice to do. But kudos to him though for recognizing that the sales were slow, and just to push a few more ticket sales and have a slow, non-money making and not as fun. Because look, clearly all the beer would have been there, the bands would have been there, but if it's not busy, it's not going to be as fun, right?
Yeah. And, that's the thing is I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed that there wasn't a good reaction and that as many tickets sold as.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed in John. I'm disappointed in people.
Disappointed in people. That's what it is, because it always is a great beer fest. It's well run. There's a ton of breweries there. There's a ton of activities. The bands are great. It's just sad to me that such a cool event had to be canceled. Right. So, it's tough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But he'll kick it back. Like I said, like Matt said before too, Witchcraft is going to be amazing. It always is. And he does it Down Beach Seafood Festival too, which is a craft beer event of sorts. It's not really. I mean, it's focused on seafood, but there's a decent amount of craft beer there as well, and that's in September. But
it's a little weird though too to me. Like obviously 4th of July weekend's like a huge party weekend. Mm-hmm. Maybe the weekend after isn't the best timing either. Again, and I don't know what the availability of Bader Field is and 100 other things, but I know like it's like everyone rages like this weekend and then like they want to take a weekend off. So maybe that just had a lot to do with it too.
Could be
like a poor timing thing, but
we can speculate till the proverbial cows come home, so to speak. But I mean, it is what it is.
It was always like one of the second highest attended beer fests in the country after GABF.
Yeah, GABF is number one. AC Beer Fest is number two.
Like the ticket sales were that slow. I mean, that's insane to me.
It is.
Get out, drink beer, people. What the hell's wrong?
As somebody
the
in the
April session was good.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Even the Friday night session that we were at. Steve, I'm not sure did you go Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening?
I went to all three sessions.
You went to all three because I was just there Friday night. But even Friday night, which generally is a little slower and in a good way, a little slower, was actually busy and fairly well attended this year too.
Saturday day was insane. Saturdays
are always nuts.
Jam packed.
What I remember was how friggin' cold it was outside last year.
Mm-hmm.
On
the first day, on the Saturday,
it was so ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, with the wind, the wind.
Oh my God,
tents were flying away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if some people were like, "Oh my God, I hope it's not like that again." But it's just you whatever. You can't tell what all these people are thinking.
But Sunday was gorgeous. Yeah. Sunday was probably like one of the most amazing outside beer fests I've ever attended.
Very windy, but it was the at least the temperature was up.
Saturday was windy and cold, and I had to buy a long sleeve shirt from
Bucket Brigade. We said that too. We literally could have sold $10,000 worth of hoodies that day. If we
$50, $60 for a hoodie, and people were like, "I'll take two."
Yeah, two. Yeah,
I bought a $20 long sleeve shirt. Best investment I made in a long time that day. And then Sunday was just picture perfect. I mean, mild, and it was empty. It was half the people were there.
There was
Sunday
half the people on Sunday that were there on Saturday.
311 played, right?
Yep.
Saturday was dropped. Saturday was Dropkick Murphys.
Saturday was Dropkick Murphys. Sunday was 311. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two amazing bands. That what a coup for that weekend last year. That was crazy.
I think 311 bigger than Dropkick, but Dropkick
but the fact that they were both. It's not that just you got them. That they were both there. That was the live entertainment headliners for both days that whole weekend in one beer fest.
A lot of people were there for the music.
Yeah,
and there were. It was a combination, right? It was a good combination too, because the people that were there for the music were drinking, and the people that were there for the drinking were listening to the music. So it all was very cohesive.
Not with Dropkick, because you weren't allowed to go in there with your beer.
No, they. You don't remember?
I remember.
They nixed it. Dropkick. Yeah. The guy came on and was like, "Hey, to the promoters of this show, don't ever tell anyone I'm scared to get on stage." He's like, he's like, "I've had full beer bottles thrown at my head. Your little taster glass is not going to scare me." Like, at that moment, John, to his credit, John told security,
let him go.
Let him go.
Yeah, I'm like, who's the person who's like, oh, they might throw these glassware? Like, if you're going to see the band, you're going to enjoy the band.
Who's going to decide? I'm not having. I'm going to throw this at Dropkick. Like,
if a band totally sucks, then you might throw something. But I'm like, there's a 0% chance Dropkick is going to disappoint people.
100%.
Yeah, drinking at a beer festival. Yeah,
exactly. I am opening a third beer, and this is a record. It's been probably 4+ years on the show since I've had 3 IPAs on one show. Okay. But I'd be remiss if I didn't have this third, and that would be the Special Rakow edition of Trojan Seahorse. So there you go.
I've heard of that.
Have you?
It's a total coastal takeover.
Well, it is for me.
3 for 3
for him.
Yeah,
3 for 3 for me.
Not for me. I'm almost done this one. I'm ready for the third though. I'm trying to keep it a little light though.
What do you have in your third?
My third is a English mild.
Is it? You went mild for your third.
From Revolution Brewing. It's called Working Man.
Working Man. I actually have a can of that. I do have a can of that. I haven't had it yet.
It's clocks in at a heavy 3.8%. So I'm looking for.
Whoa! Careful.
Yeah, I gotta slow my roll over here.
Dave, if you
got to wake up tomorrow.
Absolutely, Dave. If you're still listening to this, you didn't answer my question. Does our town have the mild on? And if so, how many are you having? Because, like I said, my record is 9 sitting at that bar.
Actually, Steve, you'll appreciate this. I'm brewing a beer tomorrow, and it's a double IPA with cashmere in it.
I told you that was my hop. You asked me, give me 5 hops. Cashmere was number 1, always number 1.
There you go,
nice.
Cashmere, and rumor has it there's also Citra and Eldorado in this too.
Yeah, Cashmere, Citra, Eldorado.
Somebody told me that. Yeah. Actually, the Holy Trinity is right here.
I made the right
the
beer you're drinking is
Mosaic and Galaxy. So.
That's the most hops I'm ever going to put in a beer. Is 4.
It's 4. Yeah, there's 4 hops in this beer. That's the most I've ever known this man to put in one beer. Right here, 4 hops. It came out kind of good. I gotta say,
bad at it.
A little bit. There's zero, as Matt likes to say. There's zero suck in this beer.
We're sucking it. I'm not mad at it. It happens.
There you go.
It's like the cha-cha slide. 4 hops this time.
4 hops this time.
Well, you know what it is I like having a lower amount of hops in my beer because I like a clean profile that has specific flavors. I don't like that when you put 5, 6, 7 hops in a beer, you just get this amorphous hoppiness, and all the flavors just kind of blend together, and it goes to mush. Yeah.
It's like we made an IPA. It has cashmere and Sabro in it. Like, cool. The 2 complete opposite hops. How can that taste?
We wanted to do Trojan for the opening, but I wanted to do something a little special. So I said, you know what? Let me throw one more hop in it. And it's, I think the Rakow just kind of elevated some of the other. It
enhanced and elevated everything else. And I got to tell you, I'm not being a homer when I say this. I'm not being, I'm not self-serving, if you will. This beer is fucking phenomenal.
I had a pour of that too, and it's gone.
Oh my god.
I don't like making shitty beer. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I'm happy about that, Matt.
Yeah.
So there you go. So
Well, here's the mild.
cheers.
Cheers.
Hold on. This one gets the wave. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. There you go.
I got the shark out, so.
There you go. Oh, by the way, our I meant to grab one and show it on the show, but our finally
Wow.
our die cut wave stickers came in. So we have die cut wave stickers.
About time.
It's about time.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
I'll trade you
No
some
more-
drainpour stickers.
Yeah,
There
we're
you go.
some stickers.
We'll do a sticker trade. There you go. There you go. Oh my god, this beer is so good. It's stupid good. I'm sorry. I'm not. Hold on, Matt. Lean forward. Lean forward. Lean forward. No, I'm patting you on the back. Just
Oh, there we go.
there you go.
Wait, no, it's that. It's that way, but I gotta lean this way. I don't know. It's yeah. Fist bump would be the best one.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
All right. Yeah. So, all right. So, where do you see Drainport going, or where would you like to take it, Steve?
Or both.
I would like to grow the audience a little bit. You know, I post here and there. Like I haven't done the Facebook thing. I think Facebook's dying, to be honest. But I probably would be foolish not to start one. But Instagram.
Don't tell Mark Zuckerberg that you'll get suspended for 30 days.
Okay. Well, Zuckerberg knows. That's why I'd get suspended, because he knows.
Bots are listening right now.
They are.
Yeah, I'm sure.
In fact, I think
They're
our show
everywhere.
just ended on Facebook.
Yeah. I'm gonna lift into the air soon. You're just gonna see me disappear.
All three of us are killed with a drone strike in about 10 seconds. Just so you know.
I would like to grow the audience. I would like to get some more writers. So I brought a bunch of writers over from Hard Times, and they're great. And there's a lot of their articles have been really funny. But I need writers that are a little more like, just a little more in the craft beer scene, that understand the line that you have to walk. Again, I can do it all. I've done it all myself, but I can't do it all. Is what I mean to say. Like I like a couple more writers so I could be posting a little more frequently is what I need to do. I posted like some I've posted some articles on Reddit, like I joined like Reddit r/craft beer r/beer r/beer r/craft beer. They do not like me or my articles.
They don't get it.
They don't like anything. Yeah, there was one article that did good. That was what was it? Winner of IPA homebrew competition turns out to be just Jarritos pineapple soda. That one did really good on Reddit. Other than that, I posted a couple on Reddit and they hate it. They don't get you know what?
They're not getting the satire. They're thinking you're actually trying to post an article.
Correct.
And they're like,
that's on me.
This?
That's on me.
Yeah.
That's on me for not making it obvious that it's satire.
Mhm.
Again, we're all a work in progress. That's on me that, like, even people who are like have to explain it. It's like it's satire. It might not be good satire, but it's satire. So maybe that's on me, but it's, again, Reddit takes everything too seriously. Not worried about it. I would just like to grow content creation.
Kat just posted his content creation video on social media platforms. Insta,
yes,
TikTok,
I have a TikTok. I have Insta. I don't have.
We haven't done TikTok yet, and I've been back and forth about this so much. I really, really have. But I really think that Matt and I should just do stupid, and then we'll get involved, Dennis or whatever, and just do stupid, funny TikToks.
So I need to date some girl who's young enough to do TikTok, and then she can do the TikTok.
That's the thing. I'm almost 40. I actually have.
Hold on.
All right, right back at you.
I
We're
was-
all aging at the same pace.
that was for your almost 40. That was what that was for.
So we got
I know.
40s and 50s represented here. So
I know that that almost 40 is still a little old for TikTok. I have it.
No. I'm not giving you the finger for that. It's like I'm a lot further away from almost 40. That's all.
Okay, well, you start the TikTok, and then you let me know how it goes, and I'll decide if I want to keep going.
I like Ben better, just so you know.
I'm gonna let my daughters and my son do the TikTok, and we'll call it a day.
It's funny because I have a lot of decent ideas for video content for
Yeah,
TikTok for drainpour.
Yes, Brian, N60s, and I'm not too far behind you, and we know that. So there you go.
Right. So no one will be help on TikTok.
Not at all.
I have some good ideas for it, but it's like I don't know how to do it myself. I have to learn or have someone do it for me, right? So, but yeah, and here's the thing: I've pitched to Hard Times, like, how can we grow their audience? I'm like, dude, video is the way to go. The younger audience is all video.
It's all video.
I actually know how to edit video.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. I've been in my 50s for quite some time now. Okay, and at some time during every day, this is me looking at reels, right? And so if I'm doing it, no, I'm closing apps. Well, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't do that. That's why my phone bogs down. But no, just looking at reels. But if I'm doing that, clearly the 20-somethings and the 30-somethings are doing that. So
right,
yeah, 100%.
I mean, I have a couple video ideas. Like, there's been many funny bottle share moments that I've been a part of. That's like would be so funny to like record, like recreate and record and like post on TikTok. But I'm not there yet. Again, one-man operation. But it's a funny idea. I really just want to grow the audience. Truth be told, if I could sell and make money, I might do it if I could stay on as editor in chief and have full control over content. But that's a while away. And again, satire is such a touchy thing where, like, you piss one person off, people don't get the joke. I kind of like.
It's not you piss one person off; it's you piss the wrong person off. That's what it is.
Again,
like Lorne Michaels.
Because you can piss one person off, but 900,000 other people are laughing their asses off. You're good. You piss the wrong person off, then you're not so good. So.
You know what? There's no wrong person, only wrong topic. Wrong joke, right?
Well, I mean that involves the wrong person, but yes, you're absolutely right. That's what it boils down to. Yeah.
You know what? I've and I don't just write satire. I've written like comedy sketches for an online comedy show. I've had multiple sets, so it's not like if there's one thing I know, it's comedy. So I'm gonna try to like do my best, but at the same time, you can't shy away from a joke. You can't shy away from what's funny. Right? There's no such thing as too soon, too offensive, too anything. No. There's only funny and not funny. So if you can make something funny that's not supposed to be funny, that's the pinnacle of comedy. So craft beer, I think, is supposed to be funny. So it's kind of an easy target for us. Again, I know there's a lot of beginners, but
so
we'll see.
How many submissions have you gotten for Hawk Tua beers yet so far?
I know. I saw someone posted something. Pilsner.
Hold on. It's got a little bit of wang to it.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. Dry hop that thing.
Kat just said on Worldwide Beer Fest, she said craft beer does take itself too seriously sometimes. So I agree with that.
That's exactly.
And it never did before, and it comes in waves, it comes in waves. There you go. But in any event, no, seriously though, it does.
My favorite one though to cut in is from a place called Grumpy Old Men Brewing, and it's Citra on that thing, or
Citra on that thing. Yeah. Rick Toby just commented, and I have to tell you this. I almost didn't put this up because of the Eagles graphic for him, but one thing that I, as a Giants fan, and Matt as a Giants fan, Steve, I'm not sure what your fandom is, but
Dolphins,
that's fine. It's fine. But I, as a Giants fan, and Matt as a Giants fan, have in common with you, Rick, is that we both can't stand the damn Cowboys. So there you go. But Rick says,
you're the worst.
Right. Check out Rick's adventures on YouTube and Instagram. I review and drink a ton of craft beers, and I am the craft beer manager at a craft beer bar. I might be able to help out in writing about craft beer. Also, Two Birds, One Stone Show podcast on YouTube is a beer podcast. We do. Cheers. Rick, absolutely. You know what? I'm going to check that podcast out, and I'm actually going to be in touch with you to talk to you about this and our podcast and your podcast. So
we're going to fill your lineup with writers real quick, Steve.
100%.
I know. I've gotten three submissions
Rick,
already.
Get on board with Matt and I, and we're going to fill his lineup with writers straight away.
All the time I have to write.
There you go. There you go. Cheers, Rick. Absolutely, man.
That.
You got it. Oh, and by the way, Rick, enjoy Saquon. That's all I'm going to say. There you go. But and you know what? Honestly, I hope you do. I hope he does.
He's a great player, but not for that price.
No. So I really do. I didn't say that. I said it tongue in cheek, kind of, but I really do mean that. I hope you do enjoy Saquon. I hope he does well. I do. So anyway, I think it's top 3 list time. What do you think?
Oh man, I got one more question before we get into that.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
I just since obviously you're covering like the craft beer industry. Just wanted a general opinion of like what you're seeing for the state of the craft beer industry. I know we've been watching a lot of breweries close. I know there's a lot of non-alcoholic beverages. I know there's now the THC seltzers and all this other stuff.
Not to mention hard seltzers and RTDs.
Yeah, so
those are probably the biggest segment taking market share away.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see what your take on craft beer is in general right now.
I think it's strong, but at a crossroads. We're seeing it a lot. John hit the nail on the head with High Noon, Surfside, Truly, White Claw, all this stuff. That is taking a lot away from. Well, first of all, the calories thing is big. I know so many guys, men, whatever you want to say. They're big craft beer guys, but they don't want to drink IPAs all day. They're like, you know what? I can go on the golf course and I can drink High Noons or Surfsides and I can get the same thing. They taste good and I'm not like bloated or whatever. There is a lot of closings going on. This guy, yeah, exactly. We're built differently. I know. I no hate on High Noons. I'll have a High Noon here and there.
Of course.
Surfsides too.
I've had the tequila High Noons. The tequila High Noons I have a bunch of.
I like the vodka a little better, but those are good too.
Jess gets them all the time, and I have not a lot of them, but if she gets an 8-pack, I have 2 of them. She has 6 of them, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of closings going on. A lot of the early adopters of craft beer, they're in kind of a sink or swim type thing where they're reaching their limit. Like they've been doing it for 10 years, something like that. And I just saw Backward Flags closed. Had no idea it was article posted. They just closed last week. There was no they haven't made beer. They haven't made beer in months. They closed last week. And look, I really love Tori. I've known her for a very long time. Super and I wish her well. And I feel bad for that. They haven't made beer since her brewer got deployed. And their last day was last week, 29th. Yeah.
But it was a bring your own booze. It was a BYOB event. Yeah. They didn't have beer there for them. And I feel horrible for that. It's not even, it wasn't even a proper send-off, so to speak. That's my point. Go ahead.
Same. Agreed.
There was like a bubble and there was just too many people getting into it. And now it's contracting and we're kind of weeding out. I don't know. That's the thing.
The wrong word because it doesn't seem like so many people got into it and then it burst and now no one's getting into it. It's like the same amount of people who got into it 10 years ago who are realizing I'm not making as much money as I thought I could are closing down to kind of cut their losses while others are opening up saying this is my passion. I want to do it.
Only one treehouse in the world and no one has figured out how to recreate that model. So there is what it is. But
have you guys spoken to venture capitalists? You need to get some big money in there.
But it's just one of those things where it's tough. I mean, it is. It's weird because obviously we're just getting started in this whole adventure to a certain extent. But I don't ever expect to be super wealthy out of it. That's not why I got into it.
I wouldn't say no to it.
of course,
But I don't expect to.
I don't see that.
I just want to make a living.
I mean,
honestly, I want to make a. Here's my point. I want to make a living.
Yeah.
I want to make my employees make a living, and I want to make good beer. That's it. Those are my 3 things.
At the end of the day, I can enjoy because I do enjoy the process of making the beer. But it is. I don't like. That's the thing is I don't think it's a quantifiable thing. Where I mean, and especially here in New Jersey, I don't think we were ever anywhere close to saturation because of we have such a large population.
The population density of the state versus the even look, and I say this tongue in cheek because it's been said before, and it'll be said again, and it really isn't apples to apples. But that being said, there was 126 or 129, one of the two, breweries in the city of Newark alone before Prohibition. All right. There's 150 something breweries in the entire state right now. Almost 100 years. No, actually over 100 years after Prohibition. So there's more market share for breweries. But but there's other things that are interfering with that. And not necessarily in a bad way, but they're just interfering with that.
Also, a lot of brewery closures here in New Jersey in the last 2 years. Now, I mean, I don't know if that's directly linked, obviously, to the shutdowns with COVID or everything else, but it's still it's a tough industry. Ingredient costs have gone very high compared to historical means, and margins are not very high in this business. So it's you have to do it because you enjoy doing it and you get the self-satisfaction of making a good product and putting it over a bar and watching somebody enjoy it, as opposed to like, I'm going to become, and like, I feel like there was a bubble at some point where everyone was like, oh, I'm going to put money into a craft brewery and it's going to make tons of money and blah, blah, blah.
There's plenty of people out there that feel that way or that felt that way. And those ones that are closing are, and maybe they are making the money. Maybe they're operating at a loss. But maybe they're not even operating at a loss, but they're not operating at where they thought they'd be profit-wise, so they want to cut their losses and potential losses, and they get out.
Back to the original of talking about Anchor. You know what I mean? I mean, Anchor is a huge, massive brewery, and they're closing. So it's a strange time, I think, and I think this is gonna. I think we're gonna see a dip, but I think there's going to be a little bit of a culling effect, and I hate to say it, the people who don't have the passion and don't make the really good beer are going to end up going out of business. And I think it's almost like, I hate to say it, so because of my biology, I have multiple biology degrees and so on. You have a predator-prey curves, and you have the population go up, and as the prey population goes up, then the predators go up. There's some lag, but then the predators eventually, the prey population tops out, and then there'll be a dip. And then you'll get closer to what we call the carrying capacity. So I think maybe I wouldn't call it like a bubble in a sense, but I do feel at some level maybe we went just past what the real true carrying capacity is, and now it's going to basically self-correct, and we're going to get to a point where the breweries that are putting out good beer are going to be able to
sustain
at a certain level.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I was just going to say
opinions on it.
You
go first, and then I'll go.
Really quick. I was just going to say really quick. We're not going to. I'm a firm believer in this. 100%. It's a correction. It's not a bubble. We're not going to experience the bubble in this industry.
It's not going to crash. It's going to go down to
right. It's not going to crash. We're not going to experience the bubble we did in the 90s. That's not going to happen. It's going to correct itself. The market's going to correct itself. There was a lot of people getting into it that maybe shouldn't have gotten into it, or shouldn't have gotten into it as strong as they did, or as large as they did, or whatever. But it's a correction. This is a correction. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
I have two things to say on it. One, John put it great that I just want to make a living, right? I just want to be able to make a living and make good beer. A lot of it is, it's hard to make a living. Margins have gone up, so profits have gone down. And how people define making a living has changed and will change right?
Yeah.
So in the case of Backwards Flag, or how many others have closed, maybe their definition of making a living, it didn't get there, right?
It
It
didn't
was
get there.
there
It
for a
didn't get
while.
there.
It was there for a while, and then their priorities changed, so they realized this isn't it. I think that might be it. And also, and this is no hate on anyone who's closed. I've been to many breweries. I've had many beers. They've all made good beers. For me, I have never seen a brewery close and thought, damn, they made awesome beer. Everything they made was awesome.
Yeah.
Right? You have to make good beer, and you have to make it consistently. And I just thought of a third thing. Not enough brewers or business owners think of it as a business first. It's always, we make good beer. You have to look at it as a business. Like the
Well,
best, like
yeah. So this
I don't know.
this is
I
my
don't know
thought.
how else to describe it. You know it when you see it, but like
No, I think
business first, beer second, but the beer is going to lead a business.
what you need, and what I try to explain to people is, as a brewer, I say, I'm only as good as the worst beer I ever put out.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, because I hate to say it. If I could put out 99 complete fucking utter bangers and everyone loves them, but I put out one clunker, the only goddamn beer that anyone ever talks about is that one fucking shitty beer. And that it sucks.
Well, hopefully it's not a shitty beer. Hopefully it's just.
Well, I'm just saying that's the way the industry is, though, and that's the way it does suck. You are only as good as the worst beer you ever put out, and it does. It's tough. It's a tough thing to say. All right, well, I'm putting out bangers and bangers and bangers, and then you have like one off day or something doesn't quite ferment the way you want it or something like this, and you put out one mediocre beer. And that's.
I would hope that we are smart enough. When I say we, I mean the collective we, me, you, Dennis, everybody. I hope that we are smart enough that if we did come across that beer in fermentation, that we dump it and we don't put it out.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a judgment call in there, because if a beer is particularly bad, but you can have a beer that's just, it's fine, it's just not amazing, and then it just gets a really mediocre response, and that's
the one so it's not necessarily a bad beer, it's just not it's not a great beer, and it gets an average response, and that's your best beer.
And again, what happens is it's probably going to be a lighter, I mean, I hate to say it, it'd be a style like a mild or something. You make a mild, and it's a mild.
You make a mild, you make an ESB, you make a Pilsner, you make this, you make
mild. Can't spell mild without
you're going to be in the mid threes on Untapped.
It's never going to.
You're going to be. You're not going to get above 3.7, 3.8 tops, even if it's the best one.
Yeah, so then if you
no
make
man's land
one, you're talking now it's rating like maybe in the 2.8s to 3 range, and everyone says, "Oh, look at this shitty beer that they made." And it's tough. It is tough.
Can't even make a mild good. How are they going to make?
Yeah, I mean, it's, and I mean, I hate to say it. It's like and there's a difference between making a beer of a certain quality and making a beer that is not good. There's a very big difference between that, because there are. Yeah, I mean, like, don't ever put a beer out with some kind of actual brewing flaw or something like that, an off flavor or things like that. That's the death knell. But
you never want to do that.
It's just not received too well. So anyway, but before we go too far down the
weeds, yeah,
let's bring it back and let's do the top threes.
To the top threes. Before we do the top threes, I just throw up 3 really quick comments from Kat and Worldwide Beer Fest. She said, "Craft beer will always be here. It's growing outside of the U.S. in developing markets. It's experiencing double-digit growth. Other beverages will expand globally as these new companies experience growth. In the Pacific Northwest, high food costs have been crushing breweries, big and small." And I agree with that, and that's true. And it's been doing it here too, Kat.
Well, we wouldn't know anything about that because we're not allowed to serve any food in New Jersey. So
no, just I mean in the East.
No, I'm just saying.
But no, Matt's right. But that's in New Jersey, but not in the rest of the north, in the Northeast and the East.
We just want our kids to come in and drink and then get in their cars and drive home. That's what
right. Yeah, exactly.
And
the ones that are innovating their process and operations, many are switching from restaurants to taproom, food cart, pod. That's kind of where we're at actually right now. And then walk-up service is really big in the Pacific Northwest. Go get your own beer. Go get a food cart. Bust your own table. Get your own water. So, there
Brew
you
your
go.
own beer.
All right.
Fuck
Brew your,
it.
brew your own beer. There you go. Anyway, all right.
That's
Eliminate the middleman.
I used to brew my own beer because I wanted to make shit that I couldn't just go buy. And now it's like there's so much shit you can go buy it, and it's just a lot quicker and easier to buy it.
We're
But
still gonna find a way to legally make barley port. I'm telling you, we're gonna do it.
mm,
We're gonna do it. We're
we'll
gonna do
see.
it. All right.
I don't
Anyway,
think you ever had that.
there you go.
I made a what I call a barley port. It's about I estimate it to be about 32%.
It's stupid.
Maybe
It's just stupid.
You got a growler of it? What's up?
I have probably a gallon and a half of it left in a carboy. It's
like a sample.
yeah, no, I literally
You literally need this much of it. That's all you need.
fermented. It's like an aperitif. I actually
Somebody that's had multiple sips
I made
of it.
I put it in. I fermented it with sherry floor yeast. I put it on Hungarian oak for 2.5 years. I put vanilla beans and maple syrup in it. I made it like 6 years ago, and I make little 12-ounce bottles, and I like crack them in like it's like an aperitif, like after dinner for Thanksgiving and stuff.
You
Like
literally
grandma.
literally need this much of it. I'm not kidding. You need this much of it.
It's delicious.
I do need that much of it.
Fantastic.
Well, I'll have to make sure that that you're around when I cook one of those.
And Kat just said would make some tasty barbecue sauce. And you know what? It actually would.
Yeah,
You're
well,
absolutely right, Kat. Absolutely.
but
So
anyway,
all right, let's do our top threes.
top three.
All right, here we go. Top threes. This week's top three is top 3 favorite craft beers to drink this summer.
Summer. So style or specific
Style
beer.
or specific beer. Either or, up to you. Doesn't matter.
Steve, you go.
Mix and match, even. It's fine. Go for it. Steve, start us off.
I'm gonna start number one. I'm gonna go. I've
You
had
going
a lot of this.
You going 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1?
No, in no particular order. I'll
Doesn't
go
matter.
3.
3,
Number
2, 1.
3. I'll start with the one that I've had the most recently. Cart in this town. It's a lager. It's always available year round. I get it. I see the liquor store and I'm like, I just need 6 of this. I buy 6 at a time. I drink 6 within a week. Like it's just like an easy
Such a crusher.
grab it. Yeah, grab it, drink it,
Fantastic
crush
beer.
it. Like
Fantastic. beer.
share it. Like people who are you could share it with everyone. Hey, you want a beer? What do you want? Like craft beer heads, no craft beer heads. Like
It's not going to offend anyone.
exactly.
No.
Exactly. You can hand it out. You can drink it yourself, and everyone's gonna like it. Cart in this town. Number 2, I got to go honestly, and shout out to them, Kevin, Jason, and all them. Icarus shrinking crayons needs to be year round. I'm tired of saying it. Shrinking crayons. The drinking crayons that the little brother, the ABV is low.
Going on,
Dude,
might happen.
that shit is so goddamn good. I could drink that all day. You know what?
It's a good
This
beer.
sounds a lager.
Good beer.
Session.
What's that?
We're calling it a session IPA.
Yeah. Session
For,
pale ale.
for anyone who doesn't know what the beer is,
Oh,
session
right.
IPA. Delicious.
Icarus Shrinking Crayons Session Pale Ale Session IPA. It's like 4.5%. It's man, it's got everything. It's great. And number 1 or 3, depending how you're looking at it. I don't know. What are you guys brewing next? I'll go with the 6% one that you guys got coming up. That's going to be canned next week. That I'm sure I'll get some.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So
The next beer that we're canning on Monday is going to be a new batch of Thalassophile, which is going to be Galaxy Nectaron, and I think that's going to be straight
That's pretty
fire.
good, and it was good. The last one was good, so that one sounds
That
even
one
better.
was, I almost think we're going to top ourselves. I think this one might even be better.
I like it.
The Nectaron was awesome that we got, so I'm very happy with it.
That's number 1.
Yeah, cool. Well, we appreciate the shout out. All right, so then I'm up next.
you are.
So I have one honorable mention,
Go for it.
and it is
Go for it, Dave. There you go.
well, I have to honor Dave. No, I'm only going with 1. He usually has like 4.
He usually has his 6, actually, but yeah.
No, but it's a beer we actually talked about quite a bit already today, and it's so I'm actually for my list I'm going to do a style and then a specific beer of that style. So my honorable mention is a California Common, which again the dictionary definition is Anchor Steam. Steam beer from Anchor, and that's basically what it is. Is they're making brewing a lager with lager yeast, but they actually brew it at a higher temperature, like an ale. So you get a little bit more esters, you get a little bit more fruity character, but it still has that like clean, easy drinking lager thing going on, and it's just a fantastic beer. Again, summer, it's hot. You kind of want to go with lighter things, so my whole list is mainly lighter things. So in number 3, I have the style is cold IPA, which, I mean, for all intents and purposes, you're basically making a very dry hopped lager. When you make a cold IPA,
Of course,
you're using more like newer New England veined hops that are maybe, or New Zealand hops that are more juicy, more citrus or things like that. So one of my favorites is from Wayfinder Brewing. It's called Jazz Witch.
Jazz Witch is amazing. I've had
Jazz Witch is good.
Jazz Witch,
and it's that beautiful
I
combination.
love Wayfinder. I mean, I love everything they do.
It's just a beautiful combination of easy drinking with, it has a bit of that nice flavor component in the back end to like jazz it up and give you, a little bit of interest. Number 2 is a style that's very close to my heart, Belgian Blonde. I absolutely love Belgian beer. So, the dictionary definition, of course, is left blonde. So you have a beer that's light. It's got a little bit of wheat in it. It's got a lot of the ester and phenol character from Belgian yeast. It drinks easy, but again, it has a lot of flavor. Kind of similar to our Pater's beer that we made, the Monkfish. Again, that was the whole concept behind that. Take the beer, make it a light, almost Pilsner-based beer, but give it a little bit of interest. But actually, the weirdest thing is my favorite Belgian Blonde is it's brewed by Unibrew, but it's actually, you can go find it in Trader Joe's. So it's called the Audaciter, or I can't even pronounce it, but it's Audaciter. So it's you go to Trader Joe's and it's like the Trader Joe brand, but it's brewed by Unibrew in Canada, which does all Belgian style beer, and it's just a great easy sipper of a beer. It's awesome. And I have to go super classic with my number 1. My number 1, of course, is Kolsch. It's a German style. And again, having worked at Maloney's for years and things like that, I mean, there's nothing that tops a Reisdorf Kolsch. The quintessential. So, and again, the Germans love their rules. To be considered an official Kolsch, the brewery has to be in a direct line of sight to the highest spire of the cathedral in Cologne, Germany. Like that's a fucking rule. So like there's anything that's made in America is not Kolsch, by the way. It is a Kolsch style ale. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good ones, but true Kolsch has to be made in Cologne, Germany, within sight of the cathedral. And Reisdorf is the king. And I mean, this is a style of beer that is literally served in I think it's an 8 or 10 ounce rod-shaped glass called a Stange in the German. Then Stange means rod. And what it is it's served in the small glass because you're supposed to drink it in before it warms up. Because you're outdoors, you're in a beer garden in Germany. They literally made a specific glass style for this style of beer so that the beer wouldn't sit there and get too warm. And you just crush it and you order another one. And I'm like, to me, nothing beats that for the summer crusher of a beer, because they literally designed a glass designed to keep you
100%
clean.
Do you have a specific Kolsch that you're going to throw in there, or just the fact the style of Reisdorf Kolsch?
Reisdorf
Kolsch, yeah.
Reisdorf Kolsch is the king to me, and I've had a bunch of all the German Kolsches. I still think Reisdorf is the best.
Fair enough.
So clean, so crisp, and again, that is another beer that's actually an ale that's brewed cold like a lager. So that's actually the opposite of the Cali Common, which is interesting. But you have those light fruity esters because it is ale yeast, but it's brewed cool, so you have like those lager-like characteristics, so that it's just super smooth and it's super crushable.
Fair enough.
This does remind me of an article that I wrote, and I respect the rules. I know, like Kolsch, if it's a rule, it's a rule, like whatever. But
like the
rules so seriously. One of the articles I wrote was still not lambic, says still virgin, right? Which I get it. like the lambic has taken so seriously, and I just, that's funny to me. Like, oh, can you believe they called it a lambic and it's not even made in? It's like, okay, calm down, it's okay. Like, but I wrote still not lambic.
Lamb, right?
What?
Lamb.
Amlam, yeah, exactly. You can call it Amlam. Some people don't. But I wrote an article called "Still Not Lambic Says Still Virgin," and I posted it to Reddit. And oh man, I got ripped. Everyone's like, "Is this supposed to be funny?" And I replied back, "Only to non-virgins," just to fuck with them. Yeah, but again, I got booted. From that group. Sorry.
So your genius is not appreciated in your own time, Steve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're ahead of your time.
They think I'm not taking it seriously, but it's like I don't take anything seriously.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. There's times to take things seriously, and there's times to not take things seriously. So, I'll give you I'll run through mine, and like I say, I always just rattle them off. I got one honorable mention, and I got three. My honorable mention is a specific beer, and I'm sorry, I'm going to be a bit of a homer. This is going to be the beer until it runs out. This is going to be the beer of this is one of my beers this summer, and it's Shell Collector. It's just it's stupid good. Thank you, Matt, and I appreciate you and us and this beer. But that's my honorable mention. It's just my honorable mention. My top three are styles. I don't have any specific beers, just styles, and I'll rattle through them. I get through them quick. I don't linger on mine. Number three is an American wheat. An American wheat.
I thought that was definitely on the short list, but I had to bump that. It's a great
100%
great summer seed. Fruited or not fruited?
Fruited or not fruited? It's just one way or the other. American wheat's my number three. My number two is a Belgian blonde. Always been, always will be. My number two is a Belgian blonde, and my number one, and obviously Matt can probably guess what this is, and it's his number one. It's a Kolsch. So those are if I have to if I make a catalog of everything I drink between now and Labor Day, the top three styles are going to be American wheat, Belgian blonde, and a Kolsch.
And I would say this, looking at some of the comments, we got Rick chimed in with
I'll throw that up. Rick chimed in. His top three is
Mexican lager was also on my short list. I absolutely love a good Mexican lager.
Same.
Vienna lager, which honestly we've made a Vienna lager because it is one of my favorite styles. I like the fact that you have a really easy drinking beer, but again, it has that little edge of like caramel and malt that gives it a little more interest than just like a really light, macro lager or something like that. It's to me, it just sets it apart. I need that little step forward in flavor with my easy drinking, crushable character. So
100%. And then obviously he said, Chimney Rustic Ales, Especial Mexican Lager that was his number three. His number two is Dogfish Head, Squall Blonde Ale, and his number one, he didn't put number one, but I'm assuming it's Ship Bottom Brewery's Mermaid Blonde. So he's got two blonde ales and a Mexican lager. But
obviously the Citrus Squall is an American blonde with citrus in it. I don't know the Ship Bottom. Is that a American blonde or is it a Belgian blonde? Just curious. I want to.
No, Rick, and it's honorable and it's a gold medal winner at World Beer Cup this year. And honorable mention is Bonesaw Brewing's Bones and Brews IPA.
Obviously, session IPAs are in the conversation, or pale ales, whatever you want to call them. New England style pale ales or session IPAs or things like that.
There you go.
No, it's. I mean, I drink bourbon barrel aged stouts year round, but it's I definitely have to limit my intake of them during the summer, and when I want to reach for something when I'm sitting out, in the backyard in the sun, it's not going to be the bourbon barrel aged stout.
Of course not. You can't.
Go for the brown water.
Well, exactly. Got to go for the brown. But and Ed Meyer just said, Johnny, what's the name of your brewery? It's Matt, and it's both of ours, Matt and mine. Coastal Brew Works.
Oh, dropping stuff
right there. Coastal Brew Works. There you go.
I got my
Brew Works. We're in Red Bank, New Jersey, and out on taps and shelves around the state. So check it out. Ed, I'll send you some stuff. And hold on 1 second. There you go. Oh no, it's over there. Whatever. I'll message you a couple of places you can get it in a little bit. And I hear somebody's launching fireworks over there too. By you.
That's me.
Ed, I'll reach
They're
out to
going
you.
out.
I'll reach out to you on
Facebook.
and some other stuff. It's an American blonde golden ale.
That's what I figured, but
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks, Rick. And Ed, I'll reach out to you on Facebook in just a little bit and give you some info too. So, all right. Cool. All right. Listen, Rick, thank you for commenting in. Edward, thank you for commenting in. Kat, thank you for commenting in. Brian, thanks for commenting in. I'm not going to thank Dave for commenting in because he.
Thanks, Dave. Oh, thank you.
There you go.
All right. So
Most importantly, Steve, thank you for coming on the show tonight. Really appreciate it. Anybody checking it out? It's beer. It's drainpour.beer. Drainpour.beer.
Yeah, just go through any of the socials or anything like that, so we can pump you up.
We are at drainpour.beer on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok. And drainpour.beer on, click website. That's our
Obviously.
I'll share a couple articles of Steve's on the Facebook page of
Thank you
the
so
Log Room
much.
guys. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
You're probably nerdy as it is.
Great show as always. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it. And Ed, thumbs up.
Thank you.
Ed, I'll reach out to you in a little bit. Rick, I'll reach out to you in a little bit too I want to talk to you about the podcasts, both of these too, in a little bit. But
check out the stuff. Read some of the articles. It's hilarious.
check out drainpour.beer. Check it out. Seriously. Go read that latest article with the Chobani article about Anchor, and then go back and start reading all of his stuff. Go all the way back, even before Mermango won number 2 last year. Just go back before that. So, but
let me know what your favorite is. I'll send you a sticker.
Yeah, check it out.
Plugs. It is what it is.
It is what it is. hey, it's a sponsor.
No shame.
Sponsor.
Yeah, we'll definitely do the sticker exchange though.
We'll do a sticker exchange. Steve, don't hang up. Don't sign off. I know your battery's going, but we're going to end the show up. We'll talk to you for 2 seconds after the show. On this note, we want to wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.logroom.com. It's LAGEROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Log Room. Remember, we go live with a video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, which is now X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time or so. And if you and for those of you that want to just listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you will find the Log Room guys.
Get all that.
And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Kat Reyes just said Coastal Brewing Company, Coastal Brewworks. Thank you. Thank you.
Brewworks, actually, but sure.
There you go. Appreciate it, Kat. I'll talk to you in a little bit too. Thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy 4th of July, folks. Happy Independence Day. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. Be safe. Have a safe holiday. A healthy holiday, a safe holiday. Enjoy the holiday.
And hopefully don't drain pour any beers this weekend.
And don't drain pour any beers this weekend. Exactly. Responsibly. Exactly. And we will see you next week, folks. Dave will be back on the show next week, and we will talk to you then, folks. Have a good holiday and a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Bye, everyone.